everybody, thank you for joining me. I'm feeling better, just tired, but that too shall pass. I'm convinced that I ate something off. I honestly cannot even think what, because I am actually eating very little lately. Fruit and toast, and that's about it. And then I drink a meal replacement once per day. Anyway, my dearest of people, things are not looking good for the monarchy. Not good at all. Not in its current standing. Torben André and the Buckingham Palace Media Centre are doing their absolute best, but they are not getting anywhere. The majority of people are very, very angry. So William and Catherine released a statement with regards to the Epstein saga, saying they are deeply concerned by recent revelations and that they are focused on the victims. Now, apparently, allegedly, the king, through his media office, seemed to have released two statements. Now, the one is utter BS. It was taken from an old speech he made to support Camilla's charity, which works with domestic abuse victims. The real statement reads as follows. The king has made it clear in words and through unprecedented actions his profound concern at the allegations which came to light in respect of Mr. Mountbatten Windsor's conduct. While the specific claims in question are for Mr. Mountbatten Windsor to address, if we are approached by the Thames Valley Police, we stand ready to support them as you would expect. Okay, so what is the Thames Valley Police looking into or investigating? Child trafficking? No. Andrew's possible conduct with underage girls? No. A possible unaliving of the unprecedented abuse? No. They are actually assessing reports that the former prince had sent trade secrets to Epstein in 2010. I kid you not. You can go look for yourself. I have said this so many times that I feel like a stuck record. But I will do it once more. Charles cannot say anything about Andrew and Epstein because people like me and a number of others are already reminding everybody of what Charles said when Peter Ball was finally found guilty of sexual misconduct and assault. Ball pleaded guilty to sex offences on the 8th of September 2015. He was sentenced to 32 months in prison on the 7th of October 2015. He was released on license in February 2017 after serving 16 months, and he died on the 21st of June 2019 after a fall. Charles had no option but to open his mouth after Ball pleaded guilty, because there were letters in evidence in which Charles protected Ball and even pleaded for his reinstatement to the church. Charles also provided Ball with a home. So what did Charles say? In a written submission to the court, Charles wrote that he was one of many who were deceived over a long period of time about the true nature of Mr. Ball's activities. End of quote. I mean, shame. Poor Charles. He jumped into pure victimhood. Poor me. I was also a victim of Ball. He deceived me too. Boo-hoo. He also confirmed that he severed all contact with Ball after he admitted to the charges. Oh yes, only then, because after the first lot of charges, Charles did defend him, even gave him a home to live in, and got him reinstated in the church. At least Charles tried to show sympathy to the victims by saying, "My heart goes out to the victims of abuse." Note, he does not make it specific. He does not say these victims. In other words, distancing himself from Ball's actions. Charles also denied allegations of protecting Ball, despite a piece of correspondence in evidence where he, Charles, wrote about a critic of Ball, and I quote, "I'll see this horrid man off if he tries anything." Well, tell me, what does "I'll see him off" means in this particular context? A tunnel, a pond, an avalanche, a motor car accident, a motorbike accident? What exactly did he mean with "I'll see this horrid man off"? As for Jimmy Savile, well, following Savile's death in 2011, Charles and Camilla said that they were saddened by his death and indicated that their thoughts were with his family. In a letter sent to Savile about a year before his death, Charles wrote, "Nobody will ever know what you have done for this country, Jimmy. This is to go some way in thanking you for that," and then obviously added a gift. Following the revelations about Savile's crimes, Buckingham Palace and Clarence House declined to comment and have declined to comment on Savile ever since. Charles, Buckingham Palace and Clarence House have also declined to comment on Van der Post having a baby with a 14-year-old. If this does not prove to you that Charles will try his best to stay away from the abuse allegations against Andrew, then absolutely nothing will. I want to take this opportunity to remind you what I said numerous times before Charles became king. I said it will be a disaster, as Charles himself has far too many skeletons in his closet. I have also said numerous times that there has to be a full investigation into Andrew, and I mean a proper investigation. And if there is proof, not YouTube nonsense, actual proof that he is guilty of anything, then he will have to be charged. In the United Kingdom or in the United States, it does not matter. It is the principle that counts. There has to be some action by a court, and if Andrew is found guilty of anything, then he should do time like anyone else. That is the only fair and visible way. I also believe that there should be proper investigations into Charles and Savile and Charles and Ball, and then if the king refuses his cooperation in these investigations, then he should be made to abdicate or forced to abdicate and go into exile. Because if he can send his brother into exile for that particular crime, then he himself should go into exile for being friends with 3 prolific PDF files. It is the only way. It is the only way for the monarchy to survive. It almost appears, if one looks at Charles and Charles's uncle, Lord Mountbatten, that this, let's call it love of children in the negative way, this also swinging both ways, etc., appears to be a generational thing. And in particular in the royal house, just random examples. Isabella of Valois, aged 6, was married to Richard II of England, 29 at the time, in 1396. Mary of Guelders was 14 when she was married to James II of Scotland. Margaret of Denmark was only 13 when she was married to James of Scotland in 1469. Catherine of Aragon was only 15 when she was married to Arthur, Prince of Wales, in 1501. Margaret Tudor was only 13 when she was married to James IV of Scotland, who was also 29 at the time. Henrietta of France was 15 when she married Charles I in 1625. And the list goes on and on and on and on, right up to the 20th century, when the sister of Prince Philip, Princess Sophie of Greece and Denmark, was only 16 when she married Prince Christoph of Hesse in 1930. So yes, I think if someone is a traditionalist like Charles, there is the distinct possibility that secretly he sees nothing wrong with having relations with young children. And I'm saying children and not girls on purpose, because there was that as well among his ancestors. And of course, Andrew shares in the same ancestors, because after all, Charles is his brother. Okay, guys, I'm leaving this here because there's still a whole lot to go through. So I want you to take good care and I want you to stay safe. I'll be back very soon. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.